have a SAT math question on average. Okay, let's go with the question. We have a data which contains four values 114, 109, 106, 111. A data set consists of positive integers greater than 101. What is the value of the smallest integer in the data set if the mean of the entire data set is an integer that is less than the mean of the four integers from the data set shown above? Actually, the given data set consists five positive integers, but only the four positive integers are shown here. So we have to find the smallest integer of the fifth value, so that the mean of the entire data set is less than the mean of the four values shown here. And also all the values, all the five positive values in the data set must be greater than 101. Okay, first let's find the mean, average of these four values. That is, we have to add all the four values and divide by 4 to get the mean. So I have added all the four values and divide by 4. So when I add all these four values over here, I'm getting 440 divided by 4 equals to 110. So the mean of the given five positive integers is 110. So we have to find the fifth value. So and also it has to be the smallest integer in the data set. And also please make sure that the fifth value has to be greater than 101, because the question says five positive integers greater than 101. Okay, I assume the fifth data value is just A. So, and we have to find the smallest positive integer value for this A. Okay, so if I find the mean of this entire data set, entire data set means that the data set consists of five positive integers. So the mean of this entire data set will be less than the mean of the four integers. That means if I find mean for all these five values, so its arithmetic mean will be less than the arithmetic mean 110. So 110 is the arithmetic mean of the given four positive values. Okay, now let me find the arithmetic mean of the five values over here. So that is 114, positive 109, positive 106, positive 111, positive A. So to get the arithmetic mean, I just have to add all the five values and divide by 5. So this is the arithmetic mean of all the five values of the entire data. So this arithmetic mean will be less than the arithmetic mean of the four integers, that is 110. We already got it. So it has to be less than 110. And also, when you find the value of A, the value of A has to be greater than 101, and also it must be a positive integer. So whenever the A is greater than 101, it will be a positive integer, but it has to be an integer greater than 101. Accordingly, we have to find the value of A. Okay, now let's solve for A in this inequality. So when I add these four values, I'll be getting 440 positive A over 5. So less than 110. Okay, now we have to solve for A in this one. For that, I'm going to multiply both sides of this inequality by 5. So to get rid of the denominator 5 over here, this 5 will cancel out. So I'm getting 440 positive A equals to, less than, when I multiply 110 by 5, it will be 550. Okay, now I subtract 440 from both sides. When I subtract 440 from both sides, this positive 440, negative 440 will cancel out. I get A less than. So when I simplify this one, I'll be getting 110. So the value of A has to be less than 110. But according to the information I have in the question, the value of A, that is a fifth positive integer, has to be greater than 101. So what are the possible values for A? So now let's write another inequality which combines the condition given in the question and the result we got over here. So the value of A has to be between 101 and 110. So but we have to find the smallest integer. So now let's list out all the integers in this interval. So it can be 102, 103, 104, 105. So it will go up to 109. These are the integers we have between 101 and 110. But we have to find the smallest integer. Since we have to find the smallest integer for A, so many students will choose 102 as the answer. So please understand, when I decide that 102, this is a minimum value for A, and so the mean of the entire data set is an integer. So we have to find the smallest integer value for A. At the same time, when you choose the smallest integer value for A, that must give you the mean of the entire data set as an integer. So that means if I choose 102 as a value for A, and when I plug in 102 over here, So the mean of the entire data set must be an integer. Please make sure of it. Okay, now anyway, so let's choose 102 for this one and find the mean of the entire data set over here. So for that, we have to add 114, 109, 106, and 111 positive 102 divided by 5. Okay, already we know that the addition of these four values is 440, and 440 plus 102 will be 542. 542 divided by 5. But when I divide 542 by 5, so let me see what I get. Definitely I won't get I don't get an integer. So when I choose A is equal to 102, and it means the given condition, that is it's greater than 101. But when I plug in 102 for A over here, the mean of the entire data set is not an integer. I am getting 108.4. So I'm not the mean of the entire data set is not an integer. So that is also the condition given in the question. So the mean of the entire data set is an integer. So we design 102 as the value of A, but it does not satisfy the condition given in the question. So now we can try 103, the next integer value for A. Okay, now let me plug in 103 over here. When I plug in 103 over here, so we know that the addition of these four values, 440 plus 103 will be 543. So 543 is not divisible by 5. Only if it is divisible by 5, we'll be getting the mean of the entire data set as an integer. So because only if a number ends with 5 or 0, it will be divisible by 5. So even if I find the value of this one, it won't be an integer, it will be a decimal. So 103 will not work. And also if I take 104 for A, so that will also not work. So if I choose 105 as the value of A, so 440 plus 105 will be 545 over 5. So when I divide, so 545 ends with the digit 5, so it is divisible by 5. So when I divide 545 by 5, I'm getting 109. So it's an integer. So the smallest integer value for A has to be 105, so that the mean of the entire data set is an integer. So usually most of the students will make mistake in this kind of question is, as soon as they get the list of integer values for A, since the question is asking us to find the smallest integer, immediately each and every student will decide 102 as their answer, because this is the minimum smallest integer of all these possible integer values. But the value you choose for A must give the mean of the entire data set as an integer. So for that, I have to check with this value 102 with the mean of the entire data set. But when I plug in this 102 for A over here, the mean of the entire data set is not an integer, it's a decimal. So we cannot decide 102 as a value of A. So now we have to check the values one by one. So when I take the 105 as value for A over here, the mean of the entire data set becomes an integer, that is 105. So the smallest integer value for the fifth data value is 105. The answer for this question is 105.